There are places in life where we feel completely safe. Your bedroom, your kitchen, your own home. But what if the place you trusted the most was hiding something you were never meant to find? One ordinary evening, a teenage girl made a discovery inside her own house that would leave investigators stunned and change her family forever. What she uncovered wasn't just unexpected. It was deeply disturbing. And the question that still lingers today is, how long had it been hidden in plain sight? This is a true crime story that proves sometimes the biggest secrets are closest to home. 16-year-old Maya, name changed for privacy, lived what most people would call a normal life. She lived with her parents in a quiet suburban neighborhood. Good school, close friends, nothing unusual. Neighbors described the family as private but polite. No loud arguments, no police visits, no obvious warning signs. If you walked past their house, you would never think anything was wrong. But inside the home, small details were beginning to bother Maya. At first, they seemed harmless. Her father had recently become unusually protective of one particular room in the house, the basement storage area. He kept it locked. Always. Whenever Maya asked about it, the answer was the same. Just old stuff. Nothing you need to worry about. But curiosity has a way of growing, especially in teenagers. And one quiet afternoon, everything changed. It started with something simple. Maya was looking for an old photo album her mother once mentioned might be in the basement. Her parents were both out. The house was silent. And for the first time, the basement door wasn't fully locked, just slightly open. That alone made her pause, because in her entire life, she had never seen it left that way. At first, she hesitated. Something about the moment didn't feel right. But curiosity won. Slowly, carefully, Maya pushed the door open and stepped inside. The basement was dim and dusty, filled with stacked boxes and old furniture. Nothing unusual, at least not at first. Then she noticed something strange. One section of the wall looked different, cleaner, newer, as if it had been recently worked on. And that's when her instincts kicked in. Maya later told investigators she couldn't explain it. She just had a strong feeling that something wasn't right. So she did what many teens might do. She looked closer, and what she found would change everything. Behind a stack of storage bins, Maya discovered a small concealed panel. It wasn't obvious. In fact, someone had clearly tried to make sure it blended in. But once she noticed it, she couldn't unsee it. Her hands were shaking as she carefully pulled it open. Inside was a hidden compartment, and what she saw made her heart race. Investigators later confirmed the compartment contained items that immediately raised serious red flags. Things that did not belong in an ordinary family home. Nothing graphic, nothing immediately violent, but enough to suggest that something deeply troubling might be going on. Maya did something incredibly important next. She didn't touch anything. She didn't move anything. Instead, she quietly closed the panel, went upstairs, and called her mother. Her voice was reportedly trembling. Within hours, authorities were notified, and that's when the situation escalated quickly. When investigators arrived at the home, they initially expected a misunderstanding. But once they examined the basement, their tone changed. Fast. According to reports, the discovery triggered a deeper investigation into activities connected to the home. The quiet suburban house suddenly became the center of intense scrutiny. Neighbors were shocked. Friends were confused. And Maya's family found themselves facing questions no one ever expects. Officials have never publicly released every detail of what was found, partly to protect the privacy of those involved, and partly because the investigation expanded beyond what anyone initially imagined. But one thing was clear. If Maya had ignored her instincts that day, the situation might have remained hidden much longer. Cases like this leave lasting impressions on investigators, because they highlight something many people overlook. Sometimes the person who notices the first warning sign is the one no one expects. A teenager, in her own home, trusting her instincts. Authorities later emphasized how important Maya's actions were. She paid attention. She stayed calm. She reported what she saw, and she didn't try to handle it herself. Those decisions made the investigation possible. This story is a powerful reminder that sometimes the truth doesn't come from dramatic moments. It comes from small details. A door left slightly open. A wall that looks a little too new. A feeling in your gut that something isn't right. Maya trusted that feeling, and it changed everything. But here's the question I want to leave you with. If you noticed something strange in your own home, would you have looked closer? or walked away? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you enjoy true crime stories that make you think twice about what's happening behind closed doors, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications.